Hi yogis, this is Bre from Bre Flo. Thank you for tuning in. I'm here in Sayulita, Mexico, and it is hot. So I'm gonna teach a 30-minute power vinyasa flow. I hope I can get your temperature as high as mine is right now. Grab your mat, let's begin. For class today, we're going to begin in a child's pose. So find your way onto the mat, knees apart, heels together, sit back on the heels, walk the hands forward. The elbows can either lift up or rest down on the mat, whatever's most comfortable on the shoulders, the arms, the chest. Take a deep inhale, fill up the lungs, feel your rib cage expand in your chest, maybe press into the quads. And as you exhale, open mouth, let it go. Take another deep inhale here, fill up the lungs, find some length in the spine, walk the fingertips forward, and exhale, open mouth, let it go. Take a few more deep breaths like this on your own. And with each exhale, just try to relax a little bit more. Start to surrender into this space as you welcome yourself onto your mat, knowing that the next 30 minutes are just for you. You spend so much of your time and your energy on other people. So for now, this time is just for you. You should be proud of yourself for just getting here. Making your way onto the mat, sometimes that's the hardest part. Take 2 more breaths here. Start to make your breath audible. Constrict the air in the back of the throat, that ujjayi breath. Gentle sound of the ocean. And try to keep your lips sealed for the remainder of class. From here, lift the hips, blink open the eyes, and come into a forearm plank. So step the feet back. The elbows are below the shoulders or close to it. And here in this forearm plank, I'd like you to try to keep your hips about the same height as the shoulders. And then without actually moving anything, imagine pulling your toes closer to your elbows, and that'll really fire up the whole front side of your body. Your neck is neutral, the gaze is down towards the mat. And then continue to push the ground away. So you're really protracting the shoulders away from each other. So if you have that valley between your shoulder blades, try to eliminate that. So now if this starts to be too much already on the low back, you can gently set the knees down. We'll be here in forearm plank for about 30 more seconds. You can either choose to just hold it here, or you can follow me for some elbow taps. So the right foot is going to lift off the mat a few inches, let it hover. Keep that left quad tight and engaged. And then bring the right knee up. Maybe tap the right tricep, bring the right foot back, touch down. Left foot lifts up, right quad is engaged. Bring the left knee up, tap, bring it back. Start to move a little bit faster as you switch sides. Right leg, step back, left leg, back. 3 more, each side. Already you start to find that rhythm in your breath. Your movements are slow, controlled. The last one. And left. Tap. Bring it back. Forearm plank. 5 more seconds here. Continue to push the ground away. The core is tight and engaged. And then slowly lower the hips down, untuck the toes, for Sphinx. Stretch out the abs. The gaze is straight ahead. Start to soften the breath and engage the glutes. From here, lower the chest down to the mat. And then the hands come beneath the shoulders as you press up for a tabletop. Lift the hips. From tabletop, we're going to bring our right arm up to the sky. Reach for a little twist. And then as you exhale, that right arm is going to come underneath for thread the needle. So you might need to walk your left hand forward as your right shoulder touches down. And then the head can gently touch down on the mat. Try not to put too much weight on the neck here. Just for a little bit of a twist. Focusing on feeling that right shoulder blade glide off your back. Start to walk your left hand back towards your head. And then use your left arm to press yourself back up. Right arm reaches to the sky. And exhale, right hand comes down to the mat, tabletop. Left hand reaches up. And exhale, thread the needle. Start to walk your right hand forward as your left shoulder touches down. Maybe you walk your right fingertips farther forward. Just take a couple breaths here. Feel that stretch between your shoulder blades. And then the right hand comes back near the head. Use your right arm to lift back up. Left arm to the sky, just for a little counter twist. And exhale, left hand down to the mat. Start with a little wrist warm up, but first I want you to tuck your toes under. Sit back on the heels. Stretch out the feet. And then spread your fingers wide on the mat. Keep the arms straight and start to shift the weight up and over the wrists, maybe over the fingers. You don't have to go far here. You're just looking for that end range stretch in the wrists. Sit back on the heels. Bring it forward. Sit back. And forward. And then come onto the backs of the hands. The fingertips point towards the knees. Keep the arms straight once again and then sit back. You'll notice you don't have as much flexibility going this direction. That's okay. Gently rock from the left to the right. You shouldn't feel any pain or pinching here in this wrist warm-up. You're just looking for that end range, making sure that the wrists have enough oxygen and blood flow. We're always trying to take care of the wrists, especially in a power class where we're on our wrists a lot. And sit back on the heels, shake out the wrists. Try to stay on the toes for this. I know this is tough, especially if you're not used to that on the feet. And then place the hands, lift the hips for your first downward dog. Start to pedal out the legs, one leg at a time. And from here, I'd like you to bend both knees as you start to pull the chest closer to the quads. Keep the arms straight. And start to pulse, maybe bounce a little as you pull your chest towards the legs. And then start to straighten the legs. Find some stillness in this downward dog. And don't worry if your heels don't touch the mat. It's not important. We're actually looking for that length between the wrists and the hips. From here, we're going to inhale, right leg to the sky, and then bend the right knee, open, stack the hips. Find as much length as you can from your right wrist all the way to your right toes. Point your right foot, and then come high on the left foot, the left ball of the foot. And then exhale, knee to nose. Shift it forward, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, back up, open stack. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Hold it here on the inhale. And then exhale, flex the right foot. Silently step it between the hands. Gently set down the left knee, untuck the left toes. And inhale, arms rise to the sky. Shift the hips forward and down. And then from here, we're going to bring our hands behind our back. Interlace the hands behind you. And then start to maybe bring that hand down your left hamstring as you open up the chest. And then exhale as you release the hands. Start to straighten the right leg for half splits. You might need to walk your right heel forward a few inches. The right toes point up to the sky. Maybe even relax your head. Feel that stretch in your upper neck, your shoulders. Rock the hips a little to the left and to the right. And then start to re-bend the right knee. And then step, the left foot floats off for warrior 3 prep. Let's try to lower the left hip down so it's about the same height as the right. Keep a micro bend in the right knee. You can either keep the fingertips down on the mat. You can also come onto a couple of blocks if you have them. And then exhale, left foot comes down to meet the right. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Feet are hip distance apart. And exhale, forward fold. Interlace the hands behind the head. Keep a bend in the knees, and then start to pull your chest towards your quads. And then again, we're just going to bounce lightly. Just about 10 bounces here. Pulse, 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 pulse. Again, keep that bend in the knees. We're just stretching out the fascia and the hamstrings, trying to line everything up. But just go easy here. And then slow it down. Release the hands down to the mat. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Hands at the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up all the way to standing. The knees are soft. Palms touch at the top. And exhale, forward fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, step the right foot to the back of the mat. And then reach the left leg up, 3-legged dog. Open, stack the hips. Point the left toes. Again, find as much length as you can from your left toes to your left wrist. And on the exhale, pull it in, knee to nose. Shoulders stack over wrists, come up high on the ball of the right foot. Inhale, bring it back, open stack. Exhale, knee to nose. Start to move with the rhythm of your breath. Inhale, open stack. Last time, knee to nose. Hold it here. Push the ground away. Pull the thigh into the chest. Flex the left foot. Step it between the hands. Slowly lower down the right knee. Untuck the toes. Inhale, arms rise. And then release the hands down behind the back. Interlace the hands. This time interlace them the goofy way. So whatever way feels uncomfortable for the hands. Start to draw the hands down the right hamstring. Pull the shoulders back. Press the chest forward. Open the heart up towards the sky. And as you exhale, release the hands down to the mat for half splits. Again, walk that left heel forward. Start to straighten the left leg. And here in half splits, ideally you want to have your hip directly above the knee. So again, you can just kind of adjust the stance and the width of how far away that heel is. Whatever works best for you and the proportions of your body. Again, maybe move the hips a little to the left and to the right. Start to slow down the breath. The breath is everything in yoga. All these poses are just a tool that we use to distract the mind from the present moment. It's that moment that we come back to the breath, find that presence. That's where the real yoga begins. So to read down the left knee, let that right foot float off, warrior three cut. Again, keep a micro bend in the left knee. Keep that right leg completely straight. If you can't bring it parallel to the ground, at least keep it straight. So that right quad is engaged, right calf. The chest is lifted. And then exhale, right foot comes down to meet the left, forward fold, top of the mat. Toes together, heels apart as you inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Rise up all the way to standing. Arms lift, palms touch. And exhale, hands come down to the heart. Gently close down the eyes. Take just a moment here. Notice where the breath is at. Ground the heels into the mat, engage the quads, and lower the shoulders down away from the ears. Notice that pause between the inhalation and the exhalation. Exhale, release the hands down at the side. Inhale, arms rise, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, place the hands, step the feet back. First, a high plank. Clean it up, push the ground away. The hips are about the same height as the shoulders, the quads are engaged. And then shift it forward and then lower down for Chaturanga. So elbows stop at 90 degrees, hips are still lifted. You can either set the knees down or keep them up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down to the belly. Reach the arms out to the side, airplane arms, untuck the toes. Inhale, lift everything up, locust pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. One more time, we're gonna hold it here at the top. So the legs are engaged. You're really lifting everything up as high as you can. The chest is lifted, all the muscles in your back are engaged, your glutes are engaged, neck is neutral. And exhale, lower everything down. Either through child's pose or high plank, we meet in downward dog. From downward dog, inhale, right leg to the sky. Open, stack the hips, point the right toes, come up high on the ball of the left foot, and exhale, knee to right tricep. Inhale, lift it back up, open stack. Exhale, knee to left tricep. Inhale, lift it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Hold it here on the inhale. Push the ground away, then flex the right foot. Silently step it between the hands with control. Inhale, rise up to crescent. You can keep a slight bend in the left knee, just to decompress the lower back. The fingers are engaged, hands reach up to the sky. And then exhale, pivot the left foot down, open up, warrior two. So try to keep almost a 90-degree angle with that front leg. Reach the arms to the front and back of the mat. Really send as much energy as you can out the fingers. Start to slow down the breath. As you inhale, right hand flips up towards the sky. Reverse it back, big breath. And exhale, extended side angle. Left arm reaches up over the head. Inhale, reverse it back. And exhale, extend. Move slowly here with control. It's no race. This isn't CrossFit. This is yoga. One more time. Extended side angle. Reach that left arm up over your head. Inhale, reverse it back. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down. We're going to come into spider lunge on the left leg. So bend the left leg, straighten the right. Don't worry how high or low the hips are, or if the right foot is lifted, left foot's lifted. Just do what feels good in your body. Spider lunge over to the right, straighten the right leg, left leg, bend the right, back to the left. And then we'll meet back in crescent, right leg forward. Inhale, arms to the sky. And then from here, we're going to come into eagle arms, so the left arm's going to come underneath the right. Now you can either take that full bind with the arms, but if this is too much on the shoulders, you can also just touch the backs of your hands or just hold on to the shoulders. So whatever feels better on the shoulders. If you did take that full bind, try to lift the elbows up, but not any higher than the shoulders themselves. Try to pull the chest back. And then from here, move with control. We're going to come into full eagle pose. So slowly lift that left foot off. Keep that bend in the right leg. As you wrap that left leg up and over, maybe take the double bind with the legs. Once you're there, lift the chest up so the back is almost vertical. Start to slow down the breath. I know this is a challenging pose. It is for me too. Just do the best you can. From here, we're going to release the legs, but keep the eagle arms. Extend the left leg straight back for warrior three. Eagle arms. So both legs become straight. Left toes are pointed down towards the ground. And then start to rebend your right knee. Gently set down that left foot, back of the mat. Warrior two with eagle arms. So keep the arms where they're at. And then from warrior two, we're going to start to straighten the right leg. Pivot the right foot towards the side of the mat. Keep the eagle arms as you start to melt down for prasarita pose. Standing straddle forward fold. And now you can just sort of let gravity do the work here on the arms. You can just release, control. And then gently unwrap the arms. We're going to take a little bit of a twist. You can either just stay here if this feels good for you, or you can bring your left hand to the outside of your right calf or your right hamstring. And then the right arm is going to reach up towards either the sky, or you can just wrap that right arm around your back or rest it on your back. You can also grab your left quad if it's accessible. And then release the twist to the other side. Right hand comes to the outside of the calf or the hamstring. Left hand up to the sky or the low back, or take that bind. Release the twist. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Spider lunge over to the left. And then lizard lunge over to the right. So start to walk your right foot out. So both hands are on the inside of the right foot. Keep that left knee lifted for now. And gently rock the hips from the left into the right. And if you want to increase the stretch on that right hip, then you can start to lower down onto the elbows. And just hang out here for a few breaths. And even for me, that's a little bit too deep. So just listen to your body, whatever feels best for you. Do that. Now from here, we're all going to meet back into downward dog. So you can either just step the right foot back, take a vinyasa, meet in downward dog, maybe do 20 push-ups on the way there. I don't care, but for me, I'm going to do an arm balance Ekapada Kundianasana on my way back. So if you want to, you can take that, bring your right hand on the outside of the right foot, so that right hamstring rests on top of the right tricep. Start to walk the feet out, extend both legs, and then gently step the right foot back, maybe into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog, and exhale, downward dog. Clean up your downward dog. And from here, inhale, left leg to the sky. Open, stack the hips. Point the left foot. And exhale, knee to left tricep. Shift it forward, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, back, open, stack. Exhale, knee to right tricep. Inhale, back. Exhale, knee to nose. Hold it here on the inhale. Flex the left foot. Step it between the hands and rise up strong for crescent. Send the energy out the fingertips. And then open up to warrior two. So that right foot pivots down. Extend the arms to the front and back of the mat. Soften the breath. Try to slow it down. Consider this your resting pose. On the next inhale, flip the left hand, reverse it back. Sweep your hand along the ceiling. And exhale, extended side angle. Try to keep the legs where they're at the whole time as you move back and forward. Try to take the full length of your breath to reach that end pose. One more time as we inhale, reverse it back. And exhale, sweep the hands down, spider lunge to the right. Right leg bent, left leg is straight. And then spider lunge over to the left. Back over to the right. And then crescent lunge, left leg forward. Inhale, arms to the sky. And then we'll take eagle arms on this side. This time, right arm comes underneath the left. And again, just take whatever bind is accessible for you. Whatever feels best on the shoulders. Spread the toes wide on the mat with the left foot and start to shift the weight forward. Let that right foot float off and come into full eagle pose on the left side. Sit the hips low, lift the chest high, the elbows lift, and then try to create a little bit more space between the hands and the forehead. And breathe. Start to release the legs. Send that right leg straight back. Warrior three. Arms are still in that bind. And start to rebend the left knee. Slowly let that right foot touch down back of the mat. Warrior two with eagle arms. Adjust the stance. And then start to straighten the left leg. Left toes point towards the side of the mat. And exhale, forward fold. So you're in this standing straddle forward fold, prasarita, with the eagle arms. And again, just relax the muscle control in the shoulders, the arms, and just let gravity do the work here. What we're doing here is trying to stretch and open up between the shoulder blades and our back, our rhomboids, our serratus muscles. A lot of stuff going on in the shoulders. And then release the hands down to the ground. You have a few options here. You can either just let the hands rest down on the mat, start to walk them underneath you, behind you, to come deeper into that stretch. You can place the hands on the shins. You can take another twist. You can do a wrist release on the back of the hands. So whatever variation feels better for you. And if inversions are part of your practice, then you can slowly let your head come down to the ground as you come into a tripod. Keep the legs straight, point the toes, and the legs rise all the way up to the sky. If you took that inversion, start to make your way back down, but just move as slow down as you did going up, with control. We all meet back in Prasarita. Take an inhale, halfway lift to lengthen the spine. Spider lunge over to the right, back of the mat, left leg straight, right leg bent. And then lizard lunge, left leg bent. Both hands come to the inside of the left leg. And again, whatever variation of lizard feels best for you. Maybe that right knee is lifted. Maybe you're down on the forearms. For me, I'm just going to stay here. This is already enough of a stretch on that left hip. And then from here, we're all going to meet back in a downward dog. However you want to get there is perfect. Still working on that chin stand. Two more breaths in downward dog. And from here, right leg lifts to the sky, three-legged dog, open stack. And this time, exhale to runner's lunge. Just step the right foot between the hands. The right foot, as if I'm from South Carolina. I don't know where that came from. Start to step your left knee to the outside of your right foot. Come down to a seated supine twist. So we're going to bring our right hand to the back of the mat. Left arm reaches to the sky. And then start to bring either your left tricep, or you can just straighten the arm, left forearm. So whatever feels better on the spine, the hips. What we're focused on here and the functionality of every pose is more important than what it looks like in a picture, in a magazine, on Instagram. We're just looking for that sensation always. And here in a supine twist, it's to stretch the mid-back, your thoracic spine. So as long as you feel that stretch there, you're doing it right. Bring the gaze back to the front of the mat. Release that hook. Maybe take a little counter twist. Both hands come over to the left. And then back to the front of the mat. We're going to come into a full cow face. So start to bring that right foot close to the left hip. For me, I like to lift the hips up when I come into full cow face so that the knee slides down. So ideally you want to have the knees stacked on top of each other. So take a moment to just adjust here. Maybe here is already enough for you. If you have a block, you can set a block underneath your hips if this is too much of a stretch on the hips. But if this is not enough, you can also place a block underneath the knees to increase the stretch. So now you can either stay here in full cow face, Or if you want to take a bind with the arms, you're going to bring your right arm up and over the head. Left arm comes underneath and behind. You can either just grab onto some clothes to start to pull your hands towards each other, or if you can take that full bind and grab onto the hands, then we're all very happy for you. But whatever is accessible for you, if you have that hold, try not to press the neck forward with that right forearm. You still want to keep the neck neutral, the neck is lifted, and the spine is long. Now you can either stay here, or you can start to gently lower the chest down. Maybe come down onto the thighs. Slow down the breath. Start to come back to seated. And gently release the arms if you had that bind. And then extend both legs out in front of you. Just shake out the legs for a moment. Loosen the hips. And then cross the ankles. Place the hands. Step the feet back. High plank. Take our last vinyasa of class. As you shift it forward, bend the elbows, Chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. And exhale, lift the hips, downward dog. From here, inhale, left leg to the sky, open, stack the hips. And then exhale, runner's lunge. Left foot steps between the hands, and then step that right knee to the outside of the left foot and set the hips down. From here, place your left hand behind you on the mat. Inhale, right arm to the sky, and either hook again that tricep or right forearm. We're just looking for that twist in the spine. So inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, twist. It's okay if your left hip lifts up off the mat. Create a little more space for your sacrum. The gaze comes forward, release that hook. Start to slide your left foot near your right hip. Lift the hips as we come into full cow face on the other side. Gently set the hips down. Again, take a moment to just assess how this feels for you. Just check in, tune in. What does your body need in this moment, and how can you adjust to make it feel better? Maybe you want to take that bind behind the back, so the left arm is going to come up over the head. Right arm comes behind. Maybe take the bind, or just grab onto your t-shirt. And maybe start to bring the chest forward. Inhale, back up to seated. Release the bind. And then bring both legs out in front of you. This time, bend both knees. The feet are about hip distance apart, maybe even a little wider. The fingertips point towards the hips. Then we're going to inhale, lift up for reverse tabletop. So ground the heels into the mat. Engage the glutes. Push the ground away. And from here, slowly lower the hips down a little bit closer to the heels. Maybe inhale, lift the chest, feel that stretch in the front side of your shoulders. And as you exhale, bend the elbows just a little bit. You don't have to go deep here, you're just looking for that sensation in the stretch. As always, inhale, lift. And exhale, bend the elbows. From here, start to walk the hands towards the hips. Cross the arms. touch the shoulders, just one breath. Inhale, open back up with the arms. And exhale, cross arms the opposite. Give yourself a huge hug as you start to slowly lower down all the way onto your back. Hug the knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Maybe rock to the left and right if that feels good on the spine. Just be so proud of all the work you just did. Good job making it through this class. I know these movements are tough. The more you do it, the more you step on your mat, the more you try and challenge your body and your mind, the easier this becomes. So just know that you're on the right track. Never want to look back at our practice with judgment, only with love. You showed up. That's enough. Start to extend both legs out to the corners of the mat as you come into your final pose of practice, your Shavasana. The feet naturally fall open. The palms face up towards the sky. Let the breath come back to its natural state. With every exhale, just imagine that you're letting go just a little bit more. The muscles are just melting off your bones. And you're allowing Mother Earth to support your weight fully. There's nothing else for you to do. You've done all the work. Now your task is to let go. Just focus on the breath. Feel free to stay here in Shavasana as long as you'd like. Pause the video. Soak in this moment that you so very much deserve. Thank you so much for joining me for class. And we'll see you on the mat again soon. With love and gratitude. Namaste.